this by heart. Pardon me. I know. As we gather, we were reminded that the town of Bonnyville is situated on Treaty 6 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is the traditional homeland and home to First Nation and Métis people today. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, and all First People of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Before us, we have an agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Madam Mayor, none at this time.
Okay, we'll look for a motion then to approve as presented. Councillor Langridge?
I'll give you that motion to
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the meeting minutes from August 26, 2025. Are there any changes to these minutes? Councillor Blanchette?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion number 200, the one for the Stepping Stones sponsorship. The minutes indicate that we were purchasing a table, but we were sponsoring that one for $1,000. It's the only change I saw.
Right. Yes. Okay, I'll just make sure administration, we've captured that. Yeah. Okay. Councillor Johnson, do you have anything? That was the same? Excellent. Good catch. Thank you. All right, we'll look for a motion to accept then as amended.
I'll move acceptance as amended.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, we have a delegation today. BRFA with their strategic plan. Mr. Darren Sandbach, CAO. Alicia Krawczyk as well. Thank you. If you don't mind just speaking into using the microphone. I'll give you the floor to go through the presentation, then we can do questions.
Certainly. Thank you, Your Worship. Thanks, Council. Pleased to be here tonight to just give you a presentation on the work that the board has been doing late spring, early summer around some strategic planning. Not a great appetite for that terminology anymore, but it is some planning that the board has undertaken to lay out some organizational priorities for the next few years. And now we're just ready to bring this out and circulate it to our partner municipalities and have some discussion about it. So that's the purpose of us being here tonight. So using a consultant, the board of directors each completed a pre-planning survey that was done online based on a SWOT approach, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then we brought the board together for what we had originally scheduled as an 8-hour session that turned into a 5-hour session. They were very focused and energetic about moving through this. Through that work, the board identified 5 organizational pillars or areas of focus, and those are financial sustainability, equipment and infrastructure readiness, operational excellence, administrative excellence, and workforce development, and engagement and partnerships. And then from there, determine some strategy areas for specific work within these pillars. So we're just going to go through each of these quickly. I won't go through them point by point, but I will highlight the bolded points, which are the priority areas that emerged from the work that we did with the board. So develop and implement a stable long-term funding model with our municipal partners. So we'll start that work through budget 2026, and that will go forward on how we get some sustainability and stability there. And then ensure ongoing financial viability through multi-year budgeting and strategic investments. So we will start this coming into 2026 budget year, because we're doing a major overhaul of our budget. We will start multi-year budgeting in the 2026 year. So you won't see that this year, but you'll see that begin to develop in 2026 and forward. And then equipment and infrastructure readiness. Complete and operationalize the Cherry Grove Hall to expand service capacity. We will achieve that here this fall still. conduct a full fleet and infrastructure review to optimize asset lifecycle and replacement planning. So there's always lots of work to do around the major assets of the organization. We've started some work on 5-year capital planning around major equipment, and that will be coming forward to the board as part of the budget process this year. Implement the next generation 911 capabilities in coordination with our dispatch upgrades. That work is also ongoing. We'll hopefully achieve that priority before year end. TELUS is creating some challenges for us right now in the testing. Nobody's surprised by that. In the NG911 testing environment that we need to do. So, operational excellence. Recognize the evolving scope as a regional emergency services organization. The board's had quite a bit of conversation that the organization is now, a tri-service organization of fire, EMS, and communications, and so starting to recognize that. Continue to design and implement a regional service delivery model to enhance efficiency and coverage. So we actually call ourselves a regional model, but there's actually quite a bit of work to do around really making it a regional model and how our stations and our divisions all work more closely together. And then promote the North Star facility as the primary regional emergency operations center, EOC, and that work is ongoing. That we won't achieve that one this year. Administrative excellence and workforce development. Conduct a volunteer compensation review. This came out of our chief officers meetings over a couple of sessions now. That work is underway actually by the Alberta Fire Chiefs Association, and so we're following that closely to see what data they're able to bring. And then provide leadership development and cross-training opportunities for staff and volunteers. We have started that with some leadership development this year of our senior leadership team, so our division chiefs and the regional chief and deputy chief, as well as some of our administrative leadership. And offer structured orientation for elected officials to build shared understanding and support. That work will start this fall, which is timely and relevant as we come past the election to have a elected officials orientation package ready. And then finally, engagement and partnerships. So formalize the relationship between the BRFA and our partners. And I think that just means, for me, it's a bit of getting some of the relationship and the way we work with our municipal partners into a more formal arrangement. There's no real paper on anything other than the articles of incorporation. So we're going to start some work likely over the winter with both the town and the MD around some conversations with that. And then develop a comprehensive external marketing and communications plan to build public trust and awareness. And that's also work that will happen over the winter. So next steps or work that's already underway, we've started in several areas. So we will present this plan in the fall, end of October, to our chief officers group when we next meet with them. We've started some priority setting in July with our division leaders to determine the priorities of each of those divisions for 26 and 27 now. We will be working on divisional operational and tactical plans for identified priorities. So each of the divisions will be doing some planning within their divisions on the identified priorities, and ensuring that operational costs are captured in the 2026 and beyond budgets. And that work is underway as we work through the 2026 budget. So I would share that with you, and happy to hear any feedback or answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Darren. Are there any questions for Darren or Alicia at this time? Any comments? Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Darren and Alicia, for being here tonight. Great presentation. We have questions that we always kind of refer to our members that are on that committee, but it's great to have, the front line administration here tonight. So more of a question, less on this, on the presentation, but just one that I've been receiving lots in the community. Since the move to the North Star building, have we noticed any changes in response times or service levels to residents from the town of Bonnyville?
Great operational question for the operations.
So we're anticipating a lot of that coming to question to us, and we have been tracking, and at this time, we have noticed no difference. So we have a lot of members that reside and work on the west end of the community, which has kind of shifted who's responding first in the trucks. But as for impact to response times, we haven't seen any significant impact at this time.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Councillor Blanchett?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just one quick question. This may be very silly to the board members that are on the table that probably have a little bit more of a understanding of where this item came from. But when in the presentation where it says formalize the relationship between the BRFA and our partners, obviously the BRFA has been around for a long time. So I'm just wondering if you can expand on what that actually means.
Sure. So where that came from, thank you, through the mayor. Where that came from was early in my tenure here in discussions with the board, we had a conversation about the legal governance structure of the BRFA. So it is created under the Societies Act of Alberta. And it was time to ask the question if that's the right place for it to be still. And so as part of the work we did on that, we asked for a legal review with a question basically, is the BRFA better situated as a municipal commission, a Part 9 corporation, or other options that might be out there, or are we best to stay in the Societies Act? And the driver for me on this was, we do business under contractual relationships with other municipalities and private corporations. Can we do that under the Societies Act appropriately and legally? So we went for legal review, and we don't have to change our governance structure. But one of the strong recommendations that they made was to formalize the relationship between the municipalities. In full transparency, it's basically to build an agreement so that none of the municipalities can extract themselves from the organization without a significant challenge. So really to protect the organization and keep it intact.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? All right. Okay, I just have a quick comment. Thank you so much. Just to my fellow councillors, you can see is the work that we've done here at the BRFA and the evolution of the organization. We really are growing, and you know, this is giving us a clear direction on a path forward. And when I talk about evolution, part of it, one of the things we talked about, and you didn't mention it, but if anybody picked up on it, you know, we talk about branding, BRFA branding. And it's not just the logo, it's just that as we're growing, and Darren had already mentioned it, we are you know, we have these 3 different services that we do. And so we're really trying to focus more that we're a regional emergency services organization, not just a fire authority anymore. And we do more than just fire. So all that to say, we're growing, we're changing, we're evolving as an organization. And I'm so happy with the work that the board did with the administration at BRFA. And thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Okay. Moving on. Okay, we've got a request here, post-event funding request, Cold Lake First Nations powwow.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Hi, Janine.
Attached is sponsorship letter from Acting Band Administrator Daniel McLaughlin from Cold Lake First Nations requesting sponsorship in the amount of $7,500 for their annual powwow, which was held on August 30th. If approved, funding will be used to help offset the costs of hosting this important cultural event by assisting in covering expenses such as honoraria for dancers and drummers and facility and equipment rentals. Administration is recommending that council approve a sponsorship in the amount of $1,000 for Cold Lake First Nations powwow.
Thank you. Any questions on the request or comments? Councillor Schwerin?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration. We've never sponsored this event before, have we?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through the councillor. From what I understand, we have not sponsored them in this manner before. There has been donations provided in previous years, but not consistently.
Okay. And just another comment, I have a hard time supporting this. The letter was dated September 2nd. The powwow was, I believe, August 30th. And so, and because it was not a regular occurrence, you know, I have no issues supporting it for next year if they come and make a presentation to council, and we could have some, we could have had some presence there. So just based on all those things, I just don't think I can support it at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And through to administration, now we see the sponsorship funding request letter. Do we have any of the other documentation that we require our groups to fill out for the remaining forms under our new grant policies? Have they filled any of them out, or was it just this letter?
For this grant policy, they would just need to supply a letter for this event sponsorship. I believe it's just the letter, and this is all we received so far.
Yeah, I didn't see what type of grant it would be associated under when I was looking through, but okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we are looking for a decision, council. Anybody? Well, I'd like to see us support this event. I know it is new and perhaps they didn't, you know, follow maybe the proper timelines or the steps. But in the spirit of, you know, supporting our local regional events, I think this is something that could take us a long way. I believe it's the same amount that we did also donate to Kihiwin for their powwow. So for me, it kind of falls in line with that as well. So something that I think we should support, but I will open it up to council. Does anybody want to make a motion? All right. I will move if nobody wants to. Okay, I will move approving a sponsorship in the amount of $1,000 for the Cold Lake First Nations powwow. Questions? All in favor? Against? Okay, that is, what's the word, denied? Defeated, thank you. All right, next. Apex Utilities 2026 franchise fee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So attached is the letter from Irv Richelhoff, Apex Utilities. So basically, this is a recurring annual discussion that comes before councils. The franchise fee for the 2026 is forecasted to be $99,006, more than what it was budgeted for in the 2025. In 2024, the town received $854,649 for the franchise fee, which was an increase of $1,485 from the budget amount. The 2025 franchise fee has been budgeted for a value of $853,346. So for the 2026 year, it would be anticipated to be around the 952,000 marks. So an increase of $99,000, sorry, $6 for the total increase for the 2026 years based on the information provided. At this time, the recommendation from the administration would be to remain the franchise fee for the 2026 year at 21%.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No? All right. We are looking for a motion on this one. Councillor Schwerin?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I will move that we advise Apex Utilities that we do not wish to amend the annual franchise fee percentage for 2026.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, the Leica Municipal Board of Directors seat appointment invitation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So again, this was an item that was tabled from the August 26th council meeting over to the September 9th. The clarification that was provided was that the town of Bonnyville does have a permanent seat on this board and shall remain until the town of Bonnyville council decides that they may not want to sit on that board, but at this time, that's not the discussion piece. The additive or the additional discussion was that the position is to be held, and the appointment of that position does not need to happen until after the organizational meeting in October, after the municipal election. So the board and myself had a discussion, and it was just more placating to make sure that we are going to retain the seat on the board and that we're not giving up the seat position. But after the elections, then we could finalize the appointment for the 2026 year moving forward.
Okay, any questions? We're going to send them a letter just to let them know that we'll be on their board indefinitely.
Correct, yeah, if we could just get direction from council to administration to provide them with a letter stating that
Okay.
we will hold this seat on the Leica board.
Yeah, so we will look for a motion that, you know, we want to continue to stay on the board and have two representatives. Councillor Johnson?
I'll provide that motion that we provide a letter to Leica that we want to remain on their board.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. All right, committee reports. We'll start with Councillor Kushner, please.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Pretty easy slate. August 29th, went to the Clayton Bellamy Gala. September 6th, the grand opening of Stepping Stones. And September 8th, community policing yesterday. That's all I have.
And as Councillor Kushner, mine is short as well.